Welcome to the Wed Pro podcast, the podcast for wedding professionals at any stage of business who are ready to become fully booked wedding pros. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, founders of the Wedding Business Hub. We help wedding suppliers grow six-figure businesses through organic marketing, mastering their sales, and building their networks, all without spending a fortune on advertising and with none of the burnout. If you are ready to grow, learn new strategies, and build a business and life you love, then this is the podcast for you. We have more than a decade's worth of marketing and wedding industry experience, and now we help wedding business owners just like you take your business to the next level. If this sounds like you, you're in the right place. Hi, welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about the pricing problem today and being in that budget couple cycle. But first, hey Roxy, how are you?
Hey, I'm very good, thank you. I'm feeling like fresh as a daisy. Number one, because the husband's away on holiday, so I've got the TV remote to myself, and I do love that. Married at First Sight started.
I didn't catch up.
No, I didn't.
I went downstairs. I've just come out of like my partner being away, so I'm in that shattered stage now. And also, my puppy was naughty, my daughter was poorly. It all came at me like a tornado. We had birthdays, all of these things whilst I was single parenting. Those of you that single parent full time, hat taken off.
Yes,
absolutely. But yeah, my partner was away, so I've just come out of that, and I had full intentions of watching it, excited all day, put the kids to bed. As I walked, oh no, what it was, I went into my bedroom, and then because I went into my bedroom,
and then I never left.
They went bedtime. So then I was like, yeah, nah, I'll catch up. So I look forward to that.
Yeah. And second reason, feeling fresh daisy, is I've had a new haircut. I love a new haircut. I feel like I had to get rid of all those horrible ends and just probably chopped about 2-3 inches off.
Nice to kind of like self-care. New you, new energy. So
that's it. So how are you?
Good. A little bit like such a kind of go-go weekend. The dog was, because we've had a birthday in the house, there's been things out that probably shouldn't have been out, and I was single parenting on my own, and then my daughter had a bit of an injury as well at her birthday party.
You had it all going on. All of the things were happening.
The dog got into some chocolate, and luckily he was okay, but he's quite tiny anyway, so I was obviously like just a bit concerned, so quite sleep deprived. However, we took it a bit easier yesterday, didn't we? We both had things on yesterday, took it a little bit easier. Re-energized, and all I need is a couple of good nights sleep. Yeah, good. Really excited as well because we're about to open up doors to our new program, and that's always great because we get new businesses in to that at the Wed Pro CEO program. So I'm really excited to kind of get to grips with the businesses that we're going to be working.
I love getting a new business in. I'm like, oh
yeah, so I'm really excited to get to work with those over the next 16 weeks and see that change for people.
This time we've got a lovely bridal shop on board, and that's always nice.
Yeah, because we come from that background as well. So yeah, doors open for that next week. So if you are interested, just ping us a message, interested on how you can work with us over the next 16 weeks. Just DM us, or if it's easy for you, we'll pop a link into the show notes so that you can just DM us the word not Instagram, the word interested, and we will get in touch with you. The doors will be closing for that at the end of September, and I think there's 3 spaces. We've got 3 spaces available, so if you want to come and work with us in the next 16 weeks, right before engagement season as well. So it's a nice intake this time because we're going to get all the things in place, all the marketing in place, have the correct mindset, have the pricing strategies in place, nail that consultation process so that when those inquiries are coming in over the Christmas period, over the January period, we're going to have booked out businesses. So I'm really excited.
Me too. And I know obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I do feel like what we've put together in the program is a perfect recipe for those engagements coming through, like 100%.
It's going to be great.
So today on this episode, we are going to be covering pricing problem that is happening within our industry. But before that, quickly, we just want to share something personal that me and Katie are taking part in very soon, which we're hoping that you guys will get on board with.
Yeah, so we're doing a Lost Moments walk in October through the night to support the charity Calm. We're doing it in October, and Calm supports those struggling with mental health and people affected by suicide. So we're walking in memory of my brother who passed away in 2020. But if you'd like to donate, you can click the link in the show notes. Everybody who does donate, we'll give you a free 3-point Instagram audit. Just leave your Instagram handle on your donation and we'll get that sent to you. So yeah, we're going to be diving straight into the pricing problem. And those of you that might feel stuck in that kind of budget couple cycle, where you're just attracting the couples that are purely focused on price, who are scrambling to find the cheapest suppliers, the ones they post in the Facebook groups, I'm looking for a budget photographer. What does that even mean? Because everybody has a budget, even the people who are having the 500k weddings, the £1 million weddings have a budget, like, and it will be vastly different to the people who are having like a 10k wedding or a 12k wedding. But yeah, what does that mean? We're going to be talking about like how you can break free out of that kind of budget couple cycle. And it happens like whether you're new in business or whether you've been in business for years and years. Maybe you are getting booked and you're getting bookings coming in, but you're just attracting people who aren't that ideal client, who aren't really valuing your services. Maybe they're getting married at the wrong kind of place, not at the right venues. Maybe they need micromanaging, or the suppliers that they're working with, they need micromanaging, and they're just not your ideal clients.
I think that can cause a frustration, can't it? You might be sitting there and thinking, yes, like, this is me, but actually not considered that it could be a pricing issue. You might think that it's like a marketing issue or a branding issue, or there's something else going on, when actually, when we look at it, it could be actually that your pricing is off and therefore not attracting those right type of clients. We want you to be charging what you want to charge confidently and not just throwing a price out there and attracting those price shopper couples, because you've got a business and it's important that you are charging enough, not only to pay yourself, but your overheads. There's a million and one things that you're paying out for in a business. So it's about time you guys start looking at your prices and thinking, I want to increase these, because I bet 9 out of 10 businesses that are listening to this are not charging enough.
I think it's, and this is what we help you do, whether you're in any of our programs or you book onto a one-to-one call with us. We need to move you away from throwing a price out there and then having a long-term business built around that. Yes, you can be busy doing that. Yes, you can be booked doing that. But business is exactly what you said. Businesses have overheads, they have costs, they have advertising, emergency funds. You should have emergency funds there for any time that you need to take off in your business, or taxes to pay, wedding fairs to attend, and yes, wages to pay. So you need to have a strategy around your price. And we know that you can charge more, and we know that there are people out there who are willing to pay more. And I think this is what it is. There is this whole set of people who do buy purely on price. And you see them in those Facebook groups where I'm looking for a budget photographer or a budget florist, and people jump in and say, I can do it for £300, I can do it for £500. And sometimes you even get the suppliers that reply and say, you're not making money at £300, or please don't do a wedding at £300.
Don't cheapen yourself, love.
But we know why that happens, because you
Yeah.
start a business, you don't really know how to price your services, and no judgment at all. We all start from nothing, and we all have to learn. And you throw a price together and you get a booking from somebody because someone wants that price because it's a good deal. Like, you've put this price together, it's a good deal, and somebody buys it, and then you feel great because someone's bought that package. But actually, when you get to the wedding, you find that you've put way more time in than you thought you were going to put in. So that actually, when it comes into the money element of it, you probably haven't made as much money as you think you would. And they were probably really nice people that you did the wedding for, and you do the wedding and their families are lovely and they're really lovely, and you might have realized that you've undercharged, but you still feel good, right? You still got the booking and you feel good. But this is how we get into this cycle, because then what happens is after the wedding, you receive the photographs back, you put them out on social media, and then you attract more of the same kind of people because your prices are low. So people come and book you, and it goes round and round until you break that cycle. And this is what we're here to do today. And what we do inside of our programs, we're here to help you break out of that kind of cycle.
That's exactly right. And actually, I was only talking to someone just the other day about this exact issue, and she wasn't actually considering that this might be happening, but she was saying, Roxy, I'm not really attracting that. I've got couples booking in, and I always have done, but I'm not attracting those couples that actually I think, yes, this is my wedding, where you rock it, like where the communication is easy, there's no pricing barriers, you're rocking up to the wedding and you're like, oh my life, this isn't even work for me right now. I'm feeling like I'm having the best day ever. It's all fantastic. But actually she was attracting those clients that, okay, yes, it was a wedding, and there might have been elements of that wedding that she thought, okay, this is okay. I can at least get a review, or I can at least use these images on social media. And we don't want you feeling like that. And so I said to her, so these weddings that you are doing, and then you're getting the images back, and then she's promoting them on social media, and therefore then attracting more of that same kind of client. And this is the cycle, because you're putting out their kind of work, and then other couples are going, oh, okay, this looks like the kind of wedding that we want. So then again, they're contacting you, you're telling them the same things as you told the last client, and it just goes round and round. And it's really time to look at prices. And this is what I said to her, and she was like, oh, okay, so if I actually just up my prices, that would stop those kinds of clients and get me attracting the right type of clients. And it is as simple as that. And it sounds simple to say, but it might feel a little bit difficult to do. And that could be because maybe you've got like a money block going on. I know that we talk about this all the time. But when I think back to even me starting this business, because before that I worked for Katie, I had no idea about pricing, and I'm not ashamed to say that. You can't know everything in business, but it just takes learning, it takes putting yourself out there, that kind of cycle that we want to pull you out of. We want to be putting you in the perfect bride cycle, not the budget bride cycle. We want you attracting the right kind of wedding, the right type of clients to your business, therefore getting to work the weddings that you want, therefore that when you are promoting those in the future, you're going to attract more, instead of continuously, by lowering your prices, attracting those budget brides.
And this is exactly what we say, like, you need a strategy behind all of these things. I actually put a post on the Facebook group a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, where I talked about how to attract more higher spend couples, like 2 things that you can go and do straight away. One of them was like have packages that they want to look at. And secondly was update your imagery. If you want to attract higher spend couples, you need to have luxury imagery and luxury, more high-end visuals, because this industry is so visual. And we know that you can charge more, and we know that there are people out there willing to pay more. And one of the mind blocks that we do face in business and in the wedding industry especially is, I can't charge more. And especially maybe if you are maybe struggling to book the weddings at £400-500. I actually had somebody that dropped into my email last week. I did an email blast out for those people on our email list, where I was talking about 3 things you could do to increase your bookings. And the first thing I started with was mindset. And the first thing I started with was like, go away, and these are 2 little tasks I want you to go and do to focus on mindset. And I had somebody contact me and say, I've been a wedding planner since 2020 and I've not had a single booking, and it doesn't work. I've tried everything, it doesn't work. So I get it. She hadn't tried everything, by the way, when I dived into it with her, and I was like, let's look at this. What have you tried? She hadn't tried everything. She was just doing the same sort of thing over again. And I get it, no judgment. We can get into that kind of cycle where we think, okay, I'm doing everything because I'm posting on Facebook. You might be doing everything, but you don't need to do everything. You need to do
the right things,
more of the right things, not everything. We need to be in the places where our clients are. We need to have strategy behind our pricing. We need to have strategy behind our marketing. We need to go into business with the right mindset, not only because money blocks or things like that, but actually being able to deal with the times where we might not get a booking, or the rejection that we face in business, or the worry and the stress of having to bring that money in for your family. And all of these things come together. But yeah, so I get it. If you're somebody that's thinking, I can't raise my prices because I'm not booking people at £300, £200, £400, you may be thinking that there'll be people out there that will never pay more. And maybe you've thought that before. But let me tell you, it's a whole different ball game. That when you are at a higher price point, you get a whole different client. You stop attracting that lower market totally. And when you put your price out there and you're £200, £300 for whatever it is that you do, whether it's photography or you're going to do the whole stationery from start to finish for 200 quid or whatever it is, and you're very budget, very low, those higher spend couples don't even look at you.
No, they aren't even looking at you at all.
Yeah, they move on so fast because they don't want a £200, £300 stationery package for absolutely everything. And we're not saying this to knock you down at all.
No, not at all. The opposite.
Yeah, it's just to make you realize that you can raise your prices and you do more. We know that you do more than 200 quid, 300 quid, 500 quid work. We know that you do. And I know that we're talking about quite lower end prices here, but this works across the scale. Maybe you charge £1,000 or £1,500, but you still know that that's below average or below what you could be charging. And you know that it's a really good quality service. You know that you're investing time in marketing and you're investing time in education, and you bring a really good service to your couple. This still applies to you as well. So if you're not making enough money to make ends meet, or you're burning out and having to do 3, 4, 5 weddings a month to make the numbers work, then you really need to look at this, and you really need to think, how can I change this? What can I do to flip the lid on this and look at this in a different way? And you have to think of it like this: you get what you pay for, and your clients know this. Like, couples know this. It's conditioned into us, isn't it?
Yes.
I cheat, buy twice. Like, people know that they get what they pay for.
It is exactly the same for weddings.
And there are people, of course, there are people at that really low end of the market that don't care, and they just wanted the cheapest in. But you don't need to work with those people. It's fine. You get to decide. What we want you to do is just raise your price to reflect that value that you bring. And I know that's really difficult to put a finger on it, because you hear things like charge your worth, but what is your worth? What is your worth, and what is that worth? And I know it can be really difficult to get into, but this is why you need to have a strategy and really look at it in terms of looking at what goes into that wedding from start to finish. Quite often those lower price points are very transactional, and yes, in business it's transactional because you're providing a service, they're paying you for money, and it's a transaction, and hopefully everybody leaves happy. But when we see the lower end businesses that are charging quite budget prices, it's unemotive, there's no why in that, it's just very transactional, very, here's the thing, pay me for the thing, thank you very much. And when we see more high-end suppliers, it's very emotive and much more passion, and there's no passion in that kind of budget end of the spectrum, because it's just so easy to burn out.
There is, like, when you started your wedding business, I can guarantee, with a double guarantee, that you did not start your business to be stuck in that cycle of that, when's my next booking coming? When's my next booking coming? I'm telling you now, you all wanted to have a business where you got to work the amazing weddings that you wanted. You got to work for yourself, so you're your own boss, so you can work the hours you want. And all of that amazing picture that you will have imagined when you started your business. And then shit hits the fan, right? Like, you think, okay, now I am running a business. And if you don't get yourself out of this mentality of thinking that, okay, my diary's empty, therefore my prices need to stay low, it's actually the opposite of what you need to do. You really need to look at what's going on and start attracting those couples that know your worth and understand that there is a lot that goes into your craft or your wedding planner or the photography skills that you have. And it's time to start going, do you know what? Yes, I run a business and I want to earn money from this business, because then maybe
the business. Yeah. This is the point. And if you're a business, you're not a charity, and by the way, charities make money. They have wages. Yes, they're not making loads of profit necessarily or loads of money necessarily, but they have to keep the lights on. They have bills to pay. They have staff to pay as well. We hear a lot, oh, but I love it. Yes, you love it, but if you're not making money, it's a hobby.
You're not going to love it this time next year.
Yeah, or 3 years down the line, where things are getting real now because you're starting to take notice of the numbers. So I know that this comes with experience and being in this industry, but it doesn't have to be. It's something that whatever stage of business you're in, you can stop and pause and think, okay, let's make a change. We want your pricing to be reflective of the value you bring to the table, as well as that time and energy that you're putting in for clients. So we wanted to get into a couple of tips on how you can evaluate that pricing structure and increase your rates with confidence as well. So the first one that we want to talk to you about is about doing the research and really tracking your time, really tracking and looking at what it is that what's involved per client that you work with. So from any onboarding that you do, so that kind of period before that client signs on the dotted line, so all that communication, any consultations you do, right the way through to the execution and then the delivery, and then even any offboarding that you do. So if you contact them for testimonials, or you might have a quick like goodbye call or whatever that looks like for you, you want to really track that and then price yourself accordingly. You're going to be less likely to undercut yourself and give discounts when you understand the cost of what you do and you're realizing how much time you're pouring into each client that you're working with. So that's the first one. It's really important for you to understand what's going on ultimately to be able to charge and to know what to charge.
So a handy tip for doing this one actually is, if you struggle to think, oh my life, like I don't even know where to start with this, just stop for a minute and just imagine that you are writing your job description out for a job ad, and then that should literally make it so much easier, take all the emotion out of it or like the brain fog, and just literally map out what your job ad would say for someone who was going to be doing your job. It's as simple as that. And then it might be a big eye opener to you to realize, oh wow, like I put hours and hours into these weddings, but I didn't realize I was, because I was just busy doing it. And that's where kind of you can fall short of not charging enough time, because you have to pay for your hours that you work. You have to charge for those hours. I hear it quite often, oh, I love it. Great. Like, people who work for companies love their jobs, but they get paid for the hours that they work. So you need to do that too. Sorry, I'm telling you off a little bit there, but it's so true.
Okay, so number 2, our second tip is having confidence as well. So when you price, and the price is what you're going to charge the client, what they're actually paying for is the value that you bring. So you need to understand that value, and we work a lot with our clients on how they can communicate their value without kind of sounding salesy or pushy. And we really break down, okay, what are people actually buying here? Because when they're buying a wedding planner or when they're buying a photographer, it's not usually what you think they're buying. So we really like delve into that and really pull out what the value each supplier brings. So you really need to sit and think about, what is that unique value for every service or product that you offer? And so many people we work with are worried about coming across as salesy or pushy, but you need to own that value and be confident in communicating it. If there is absolutely no doubt in your client couple's mind why they need what you offer and why you're the person to work with them, then price is not going to be an objective at all.
No.
So have confidence in what you do, have confidence in delivering that price and getting on the discussion and really leading that conversation. And this is something we do as well, don't we? We really practice that sales consultation, and we teach people like a 5-step method, and we practice that so it just rolls off the tongue.
I think as well, and I have had quite a lot of ups and downs with like my confidence in sales in the past. Like I know, like I've always been good at finding the right dress for the bride when I worked in the bridal shop and creating that experience. But I just, if I'm unsure or don't feel confident on a sales call, then I know that there's work to do. You need to practice, you need to write it down so it's in front of you. And the more of these conversations that you are having, the easier it will become. But you do have to come across confident in these kinds of calls so that that couple then has the confidence in you.
For sure, absolutely. So we know that increasing your pricing can be quite scary if you do big jump, no matter what price point you're at. And you might get some no's initially, but don't let that stop you and convince you that you're not worth the money. If you're nervous about significantly increasing your prices, you could try just increasing your rates by a few £100s or whatever it is every couple of bookings until you reach that price point that's your goal. So doing it at a slower pace could help you just build that confidence up to charge those higher rates as you work towards that end goal.
And I think you'll be surprised by the results actually with this one. Just those little increments, just those little, almost sometimes you need to kick yourself to nudge yourself forward to increase the prices, but just these small increments, do it in a way that feels comfortable for you. But we really want to see you get into those prices that you want to be charging. And this is a great way of doing it and it really does build confidence quite quickly because you're like, oh, okay.
When you sell a wedding at that price, think about how amazing you're going to feel.
Yeah.
When you know that you're going to walk away from that with some profit, having made some money, being able to build the life that you want to have out of your business. This is why you started a business, right? So that you can build the life that you want to have. You can have the flexibility, you can have the freedom, and you have the flexibility and freedom to really love your job. Just think about how amazing that's going to feel. So if you're not so confident really having a big jump in pricing, it's fine to start small and work your way up and think by this time next year, I want to have doubled my pricing, or I want to be charging X amount. Do I feel comfortable with that? Yes or no? It could be as well that you might feel comfortable about it if you really have a little look at your pricing blocks or anything around pricing blocks that you might have and really delve into that. But that's a different topic, isn't it? Like we'll talk about money mindset another day. Or it could just be that you're more comfortable raising that by a couple of £100 each and every booking that you get, or every 2 or 3 bookings that you get, just increasing that slightly so that when you this time next year you've doubled your prices, but it hasn't felt like that harsh ripping the plaster off straight away.
Yeah. And you will be doing happy dances when this is happening this time next year. Just think what you could be doing just by slightly increasing your prices every couple of clients. We want that for you. This is what we're here for. It's what we show up for. So you can have those successful wedding businesses. We've done the hard work so you don't have to. So we can give you this information to really help you. And this is one of those things that I think people, oh, I can't raise my prices. Why the heck not? Actually, why can't you?
Right.
Honestly.
You've had new hair, Roxy. New hair, new attitude.
New hair don't care.
New hair don't care. The last thing, and here we go. This fits perfectly with Roxy's new girl-powered empowerment moment that she's having.
You got this.
Get comfortable and be okay with some people saying no. It is okay. We don't have to have the people that are just looking for the best deal all the time, or the cheapest wedding planner, or the cheapest photographer. They're not your clients, and you don't have to work with them. And you want to work with the clients who see the value that you and your team bring to the table, and those people that want to have a client experience like no other. You want to work with the people that aren't considering the budget people and the people at the lower end of the market. Getting a no from somebody shouldn't be a negative thing. You're making space for somebody that is going to say yes, and from an ideal couple that's going to come along and say yes and make you feel amazing. And this is what happens. And another thing that happens when we raise our prices is that we don't need to be booked out and burnt out. Booked out for you could mean 2 weddings a month. And we work with one of our clients, a photographer, and he wants to do like 1 wedding a month, and that's all he wants to do. And that for him is booked out. And because of the pricing strategy we've put in place for him and the other things that are working for him, his booked out looks like 1 wedding a month, and he gets lots of time to edit, and he gets lots of time to create a really lovely client experience. And because of the prices that he's at, that's sustainable for him. That's sustainable. His bills get paid. He loves his job. He doesn't feel burnt out at all. And this is just worth saying, actually, that booked out doesn't have to mean 52 weddings a year. That's burnt out. That's not booked out. That's burnt out. Nobody, unless you've got a team around you, can do weddings every single weekend and deliver 100% and give the client experience your client deserves. This is their most happiest day of their life. Like they're expecting whatever price point they're paying. We know that they're expecting big things from you. So you need to charge them for the time, the emotion, the investment, the education that you're putting into yourself to make yourself a better photographer, to make yourself a better wedding planner, to make that experience smooth for them, whether that's you're investing in systems, whether that's you're investing in equipment, whatever it is. So it's okay when people say no to you. It opens the door for somebody to come along and say yes.
And what I really don't want you to do is, let's say, for example, that you have started incrementing your prices up a little bit, and then you get a no. Do not lower those prices back down. It's okay to get a no. Like it just will happen. It just means that they are not the right type of client for you. Don't let that knock your confidence. Don't take it personally.
Or when someone says, I've had somebody come back and say they'll do it for £300. Okay. And this is it. Like in other areas of life, like every area of life, there's expensive cars and there's cheaper cars. The people that are in the market for a luxury high-end Rolls Royce aren't going into a Ford dealership. And this is what we're saying to you. There is a whole section of the market that won't consider you if your price is low. So if you're thinking, oh, I can't charge more and I can't increase my prices more because I'll somehow put people off, well, you might just be putting off the people that you don't want to work with anyway. We want you to feel really confident about this. Be comfortable with people saying no. I know that comes with experience, but try it. Let us know. Try it out. Let us know. Let us know what you want to increase your prices by. You can send us a message on Instagram. It's not anything that we'll publish, but it might just give you that kick up the bum and that accountability that you've let somebody know. And you can message us privately and we'll give you like a little bit of encouragement there. But that can help as well, isn't it? Like putting that out and saying, this is where I'm going to be in 12 months.
No, that's right. I'd love to hear from you guys, to hear this time next year, I'm going to be charging X amount. Like we will be your biggest supporters. No problem at all. That's it for our tips today. And if you are someone that's sat there thinking, okay, I feel like I need a little bit more support with this, we are totally here to help you and support you and guide you through in your wedding business journey. We have a group coaching program called the Web Pro CEO, and the doors are open. We are taking on new clients and we would love to get you where you want to be. If this is something that you would be interested in finding more out about, you can drop into our DMs with the word interested. We'll pop the link to our Instagram in the show notes so you can do that. But we would love to support you and getting those prices out there that you want to be charging and getting those clients. We also cover loads of other topics inside of the group coaching program as well, from branding, mindset, lots of sales goodness in there, and also it's jam-packed full of marketing support as well. But yeah, so visit us over on Instagram, DM us with interested, and we will have a chat.
Yeah, we'll pop that link into the show notes. It's really easy for you to find. But if you're not on Instagram, you can find us over on Facebook, the Wedding Business Hub, or hop over onto our website. There's loads of ways you can get in touch. We close the doors on that at the end of September, so don't leave it too late. Don't be thinking when engagement season comes around, oh, I wish I'd reached out and got some support. Whether you are struggling to attract your ideal client, whether you want to grow your team, maybe you want to raise prices, maybe you want to go full time with this like dream that you've got, maybe it's all of the above. Whatever it is, we will help you, and we'd love to be able to shift the gears, to be able to propel your business forward in the remaining months of this year, so that next year can be your best year ever. Thank you so much for listening to us today. Baffle on about money and pricing. We know that this is a deep subject, but we also know with loads of experience now that you can do it. We can't wait to see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.